The legend continues. If you enjoy Redbreast whiskey, you'll want to watch the whole video. Yeah, let's drink some whiskey. Welcome to Whisky Whiskey. I'm the Whiskey Chaser Brian here in Christy's bar, Kilkenny City. Awesome. Let's rock. So a little while back, I had the first in the core range of the Redbreast whiskies on the show, video link over here, and that was of course the Redbreast 12-year-old. On today's video, we're gonna jump up 3 years, 6% ABV, and a little bit of a different cask formulation, and what some would describe as far superior whiskey to the 12-year-old. Depends on what circle you run in. This is the Redbreast 15-year-old single pot still Irish whiskey. Now, as I promised before, and continuing with the core range Redbreast whiskies, we are moving on to the second offering in the range of pot still whiskies, the 15-year-old version. You might be kind of surprised to learn that this doesn't always resonate well with whiskey drinkers, and I suppose that could be a bit of a wrong word to use, resonate, but let's just say it wouldn't normally be the first whiskey in the Redbreast range that what a lot of people would reach for first. It is, however, one of my personal favorites within the range, and that may shock some, but this has some amazing qualities that we should all take a minute to appreciate. I'll wait. Okay, so maybe I'll just tell you some of them. Let's do it. Firstly, it was released at the end of 2005, started 2006 as a limited edition release to celebrate La Maison du Whisky's 50th anniversary. And if you don't know who they are, they're kind of a big deal. Founded in 1956 by Georges Benetat, hope I said that right, La Maison du Whisky has established itself as one of the largest French specialists in the importing and distribution of rare whiskies. A real, what you say, leader in the whiskey category, and one of the few shops responsible for really growing the whiskey category within France, and indeed, Europe. Now, still to this day, there are always rare and hard to find bottlings bottled exclusively for the company, and generally speaking, the whiskies themselves get great reviews. So when the Redbreast 15 first appeared through the shop, people took notice. So much so, in fact, that the whiskey itself was, in 2007, named the Irish Whiskey of the Year, and subsequently, around that time, also became part of Redbreast's core range of pot stills Irish whiskies. Yeah. So for those fans of the 12-year-old version of this might be asking, okay, so what's the big difference besides the age of the whiskey? Well, obviously the age is a certain paramount to this, but the whiskey chosen for this bottling generally range between 15 and 19-year-olds. The newer versions of these bottlings have somewhat changed their DNA slightly than when it was first released back in the end of 05, 06. Nowadays, you get a pot still whiskey combining malted and unmalted barley that's finished in first fill bourbon and first fill Oloroso sherry butts, compared to the Redbreast 12, which is Oloroso sherry again, but not as much bourbon casks as this one here. Also, we go from 40% ABV in the 12 up to 46% ABV in the 15, giving it just that little bit more kick, kind of bringing it up a notch into the powerhouse category. Little bit more flavor, more sumptuous, funnily enough, not for everyone. It always amazes me how personal choices regard this whiskey. I, for one, have always been a fan, haven't had it in ages, and certainly looking forward to getting a little in the glass. This bottle, like all other bottlings in the range, has also gone through a little bit of a facelift as of lately, making it that little bit more up-to-date and sleek looking. This is the kind of older version here. I was a huge fan of the older retro style bottlings, and the original La Maison du Whisky bottling in particular was certainly pretty kick-ass. I will leave a picture of it on the screen for you. I thought it was deadly. Okay, so enough of the fanboy stuff. Let's get this in the glass and we'll have a little sup. And we pour. Beautiful. Okay, so again, this is a 46% ABV triple distilled Irish pot still whiskey, the youngest of the whiskeys in this, coming in at 15 years of age. First fill bourbon and Oloroso. The price is hefty enough, in or around the €100 mark, which is quite substantial jump up from the Redbreast 12, which is in around the 60, 65 give or take. 2007 Irish Whiskey of the Year and awarded the gold medal in 2019 for the single pot still whiskey category. Okay, let's have a little nose of this. Lovely. It is complex, I'm getting that straight away. There's a lot going on here. It definitely more roasted nuts, kind of dried fruits, your darker fruits as well, a bit of dates in there, you know, really lovely, really kind of sweet fruity. There's kind of a sweet fruity note in behind there, maybe like a berry, or I'm kind of getting a berry note. Totally different from the Redbreast 12. I think definitely that age is coming into play. You're getting the ABV is definitely coming up a notch. It's not as rich on the sherry notes as maybe the Redbreast 12, which you would come to understand, obviously. But still, very well balanced on the nose. Let's have a little sup then. Slainte. That's gorgeous. Oh, again, you're getting that complexity that you get on the nose transfers. Very rich, your dried fruits, roasted nuts coming through. You know, pot still, so it's going to be quite spicy. A little bit of a hint of chocolate notes. Oh, very Moorish. A little bit citrusy, kind of more orangey notes. Bang of oak towards the end. The finish, you're getting those kind of fruits coming through on it. A little bit of the sherry notes, a little bit of the nuttiness. Everything is working in conjunction with one another. Your spice tapers off, still leaving a lovely mouth coating, still that complexity. It's evolving. Toasted wood. Damn good. Very, very Moorish. Very Moorish. I won't have any more, but it is very Moorish. In my honest opinion, that's a stunner. One I really do like, and it's nice to change it up. The added ABV does help it give it a bit more kick and bring it up to an ABV that I would prefer to see most Irish whiskies coming in at, as the bare minimum, in my opinion. It wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. You can see why when you taste it. It's not as rounded, I think, as the 12. Those sherry notes kind of not coming through as much, but a bit more oak notes coming through. I personally really like it. Now, as with most Irish distiller products, there isn't really much wrong with this at all, and it boils down to personal choice when it comes to choosing this, I guess. I don't know, just me, but the 40 euro or 40 odd euro price jump from the 12 euro does leave a bit of a head scratching, but it is the way with things these days. I'm not normalizing that. It's the way Irish whiskey is kind of going, I guess. Now, before I go, if you liked any of that review and indeed info, don't be afraid to shoot me a thumbs up. And of course, please make sure you are subscribed down below and set those notifications bells so that when I do upload a video, you're notified. You don't want to miss anything that's coming up soon. I've been saying that for months, but trust me. Trust me. A shout out to the good old boys here in Christy's for the dram. As always, all thoughts are my own, and don't forget to comment below on some of the whiskeys you'd like to see me tasting on this show. I'll do my best to get to them if we have them here, of course, and if not, we might just pull a few strings, and I'll try to keep it Irish, please. Just an FYI, suggestions wise. Alrighty then, until the next video, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll chat to you soon. Slainte. Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. He's my number. Call me maybe. Oh dear. How did that get stuck in my head?